All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and kick this off. This is Doug Bliss, and I'm here with Ewell Gatan at Web Connect. And we're recording this session for a few folks who couldn't join us today to play it back on our YouTube channel later. We have a few folks on the phone here, and so those on the phone can jump in at any point with questions as we go through this. We also have some people joining without audio that will possibly be chatting in some questions along the way, and I'll try to pick those up as best we can as we move forward. Just a quick background on Web Connect for those not familiar with us. Since about 2006, Web Connect has been doing custom software development around P21, beginning back in the Commerce Center days, thereabouts, and moving forward. Done a number of projects, and then early on started evolving a product called Web Connect. That the short version of that is you can go to our website for more information, which is p21connect.com. So that's p21connect.com, and the Web Connect system runs live in your environment against your P21 data. It's optimized to run on mobile devices, so smartphones and tablets, and so it's real-time reads and writes. And out of Web Connect, we built Community starting earlier this year. The goal here was to take our sort of cumulative Web Connect / P21 knowledge and do a couple of things. One is always trying to keep up on the latest technologies. We wanted to get some experience in a new technology for mobile devices, and so we decided to build a read-only version, scaled-down version, specifically for mobile devices, leveraging some of the assets we've accumulated through our Web Connect efforts, and also wanted to find a few more ways to let people know about Web Connect and what we can do by offering this free version. So for those of you familiar with LinkedIn, it's very similar to a LinkedIn free versus LinkedIn subscription approach. And so we were in Connect, the P21 User Group Conference, a couple of weeks ago in New Orleans, and we had our official launch there. And this webinar is sort of the culmination of that. After this webinar, we will be sending out information on how to set this up in your environment. We'll go through that a little bit today as well. And then, of course, after the call, I'll send out emails to everyone to get that going. And we also have an email address, which is community@p21connect.com, that you can send questions and of a support or feature request nature, because we plan to grow Community over time based on user feedback, and just trying to develop a nice set of features, that make it convenient to get to P21 data for those folks that are mobile and on the road outside the office. So with that, I will turn this over to Ewell to go through Community and then talk about the setting up of Community at the very end.
Great, thanks Doug for that introduction. Guys, so what I'm going to do is kind of a basic rundown of the different features that we have within Community, and then towards the end I will do a little high-level overview of the setup process. All of that will be in documentation that will be emailed out at the end of this webinar. So I'm going to go ahead. So what you're seeing right now on my screen is the initial login screen. Right now I have my window optimized towards kind of what a tablet or mobile would look like, so that we can give you guys kind of a good view of what it might look like on the phone. Obviously you can use it within your mobile, your tablet, and you can also use it just from your web browser. But for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to try to keep it in mobile view so that you get a good perspective of that. So come in, it's going to have login capability, all secure with authentication. After I log in, I get three kind of different main options: inventory search, customer, and contacts, and we have more within that. I also, within my mobile view, have the buttons up here so that I can quickly navigate to those things. If I am an admin, I have user management and database settings. We will talk about that a little bit later, but for right now, that's kind of the navigation point that there is. There is also a help page where I can come and contact the community team if we have any questions or if we have any issues that you need somebody to get on the line with. So let's jump into some of the functionality. I'm going to jump into the inventory search and kind of preview that. Again, throughout all of this, we're pulling live from the P21 database, so this is reading as you click right from the P21 database and returning that information. So if I click into the inventory search page, I come to a box where I have the ability to search item information. So I can type in, for example, box, select that, and select if I want to look for only stockable or non-stockable. That's a simple filter that I can add to it. So if I search for box, what this page will bring back to me is a list of the different items that have that within either their description or within their name. So I can select or specify a specific item ID or just something within the description. So what that will give me back is all of the different items that have come back. So you see here we have quite a few things. So we're using the P21 demo database that we get. And so again, reading live and pulling back information. So I have 45 pages worth of different things that have box within them. And again, if I wanted to, I can come back in here, type in something else, and search again. So from here, let's jump into a specific item. So again, I see, okay, this is 30 amp fuse box with 0 quantity on hand, and the pricing unit is a EA, and unit size is 500. So let's jump into this specific item. This will bring me to an item detail page. The item detail page will have specific information about this item. So this tells me, okay, I have no inventory on hand, but it tells me, okay, at the different locations that I have, the quantity available. Let's try to pick an item that has a little bit of inventory on hand so we can demo a little bit more. So if we look at 02230, looks like green corpse silk string. I don't know what that is, but we'll see what it is. And so I see I have quantity available here, and I have description, sales unit size, et cetera, et cetera. Now I have a couple tabs up here. So I have pricing and subs. And so if I wanted to see, okay, are there any substitutes for this specific item that I've set up in P21, I can jump to the subs tab. The subs tab will take a little bit and load from the P21 tab, P21 database if there are any substitutes. So it wasn't able to find any, but if it was, it would give me kind of a list of items that I can select and move towards. So it's just a nice, easy way. You know, if I'm on a sales call and they're like, well, I'm looking for item X, I look through, I don't have any inventory, but I might want to search for substitutes and select those. So those are the two big tabs. And our last tab is the pricing tab. So the pricing tab is where I can go to get pricing on this specific item that I'm on. So you have a couple different ways to do that within here. So you have this ship to box. So here is where you start typing a ship to name and be able to select the ship to get pricing. So for example, I know 123 warehousing is a ship to that I have in here. So for example, 123 warehousing is a customer that I have, but I have multiple ship tos. And so what I can do is select the ship to that is the one I'm quoting for, select it, and what that will do is it will bring back the price for this, and then it will also bring back if there are any contracts associated with this customer, which is important because we use the P21 pricing engine to get contracts, and contract pricing, last margin pricing, all of that. So what we see here is the unit price is $782. We have found one contract, so we can select that. I'm not sure if this item has any contract pricing. It doesn't. So it gives us the ability to look at that. And then in here, I also have the different units of measures. So I can select EAs, boxes, or cases. So if I select boxes, it'll come back, recalculate the price for me, and tell me what the price of one box is. Again, if I select case, it'll come back and tell me what the price is for that. And then if I want to change the quantity and say, let's say I want 10 cases, it'll give me the extended price, so what the total would be of that. So it quickly calculates that and lets me know. So again, all mobile friendly. So if I'm at a sales call and I need to quickly get a price for a ship to location, I can quickly do that and check unit of measure and quickly calculate the price that I need. So just a nice handy toolkit to have for an outside salesperson or just even internally to get that information. So this is where we have our item detail. So let's jump to our next big information hall is our customer information tab. So our customer, again, we could have gotten to that page from our home screen where we click customers, or we can also get it from our submenu right here and click into customers. So customer is exactly what it means. It's a listing of customers that exist within my P21 database, again, all being read live. And so when you come to the customer listing, you can search by customer name to filter down as much as you need. So I can type in 123 warehousing and search that. And that will give me a filtered list of all of that. And so within that, all of this is mobile capable. So I have a few buttons when I come to the customer listing page. I have a contacts button, a mapping button, a website button, and a telephone button. So, I might be, driving on the way to my customer. I'm like, oh man, I forgot the map. And so click my little map button. What that will open will be the mapping feature on my phone, and it will open a mapping window. And so then I can do the navigate directions and let Google show me the way. And then, or if I forgot the telephone number, and so this will get the main customer line number, and so I click this phone number, and that will open the telephone box on my cell phone so that I can dial really quickly. Or let's say I want to get a list of contacts that exist for this customer, so I can jump into the contact list and see all of the different contacts that exist within there. And then I can jump into that contact and get all that information again. And so get their direct phone number, their central phone number, their email address, websites, and again, the same mapping feature. So if they are at a different location, then we can open it again and go to it. Or I might just be wanting to look at the website or email them. So just a nice, simple way, again, for outside salespeople or anybody to quickly navigate, find customer information, and be able to drill down and get the relevant information to quickly complete the process that I'm on. So all those buttons, mobile functional, so that when they click it, it seamlessly goes to their mobile. So now let's drill into the customer. So here is where I can get more detailed information about the customer. Some of the high-level things that we had on the previous page, like mapping and central phone number and contacts, but additional things like ship-tos and notes. And so I can click on ship-tos, and so for this specific customer, it looks like we had 9 ship-tos set up. Again, the same buttons that we've had before, specific telephone numbers, mapping functionality, and contacts that we've seen on the main customer listing page, but specific to a ship-to. So if I'm like, oh, I know it's XYZ customer, and I need to go to XYZ location, but I forget where the address is or what their telephone number is, I can quickly come in here and jump on that. The last thing on this general tab we have is the notes. And so if we jump into the notes, this is specific things that we put into P21 about this customer. And so we list it and let you know who who put it in, what the notes information is, so that you can quickly read it, and as you're walking up to the client, you know what kind of customer that they have, and the information that you need to know about them. So this is kind of the general tab where we have all that basic information. The next tab we have over is the stats tab, and so this is general information we need when we're kind of walking up. And so there's 4 main sections. Credit status, so we know, again, pulling right out of the P21 database, all the information about them, their credit status, and credit limits used, etc. Here we have orders and projected orders, so we tell you what they did in 2014, what they've done so far in 2015, and then what their projected amount is and what their projected change is. And so you get a quick snapshot of how this customer is doing and getting a good feel about that. So before I jump down further, each of these 2 things that I talked about are drillable things. So for example, if I want to understand the aging or what their invoicing is looking like, I can drill into this credit status, click on it, and what I'll get is a nice little chart that tells me how they are doing from a payment perspective. And so I can see, okay, 0 to 30 days, wow, this customer is looking pretty good. 31 to 60, I have a bit of money outstanding. Unfortunately, I don't have anything 61 days or above. So I can get a quick snapshot peek at what their dollars look like and where, if I have any dollars tied up with them. So just a nice little aging chart to, again, as you're kind of walking up, you know what you need to talk to the customer about and what they need to understand and what conversations you need to have. So back to the customer detail, I also have another drill down to understand what my orders have looked like over the past year. So if I drill into here, what we have is a nice little chart to help us understand the prior 12 months and the current 12 months and what month looks like we are doing not so well on. And so you get a better understanding of current year, previous year, all again mobile friendly, so you can look at it on your device and get a quick understanding, oh wow, what happened in last year versus this year, and have a conversation. So just a nice little chart so that your outside salespeople are prepared and ready to go. So if we come back again to the customer detail, we have 2 remaining points here. We have open orders and item summary. I'm going to jump down to item summary before I jump to open orders because I want to quickly show that. The item summary is a page that's going to tell us what the customer generally has bought over the last year. And so what we have here is sorted by total sales, the different items that they generally buy. So you can see, wow, they buy a lot of the CC1LB, and they've done $148,000. And so if I want to, I can from here drill down into the specific item and get back to that item detail tab page that we saw earlier. So I can get price and look at subs and talk to them about that if we need to. So that's a nice little, again, nice to have as you're walking up. What does this customer generally buy? What can I sell them more on? So the final thing on the customer detail is this open orders. So what this gives you is a total of the number of open orders that currently exist and then the total dollar amount for those open orders. Again, just a high-level information to understand where is the customer at. So I can drill down into these open orders, and what I get is a listing of the open orders that exist there. So at a high level, so this is order number 1029181. This is the date it was placed. This is the date and time. This is the PO number that's associated, the customer PO number. This is the total amount and then the open amount. In here, I also have the ability to search within this. So if I know of a specific customer PO number, I can type that in here, or a specific customer order number, I can type that in here, and it'll filter down this open orders list to that so that I can select it. So just a quick, nice way to filter down and find exactly what I need. So again, the listing of the open orders, and then I can go down here and page through as I feel like. So I see order 129181, and I'm like, what are the details behind that? and what's its approved status, and what are the items on there. So I'm going to jump into there. And so it brings me to this page, which again restates the order total amount, the open amount, the taker, the customer PO number, the packing basis, the carrier, all of that information. And then it tells me if it's been completed, if it's approved, it's been canceled, all of the relevant order information that I will need out of P21. Again, pulling live from the P21 database. So now I want to see the line items within that order. So I can jump over to the Items tab, and I can see all of the different line items that exist on that order. So I see the relevant item information, how much they ordered in this, the price on that order, and then the extended price and the open amount, and the quantity ordered. Again, so it's made up of these two items. Again, I can drill into this item and get more price and more quantity on hand on that if I wanted to, and push through that too. So just a nice quick way to read through an order and see where it's at. So as you're talking to a customer and they're like, hey, where is that one order that I placed on the 3rd? I can quickly find that and see what the holdup is. Has it just not been completed, approved, or canceled, and why that is. The next couple things on these tabs are the ship tos. So it just tells you where it's getting shipped on this order. And then I have, and this is again mobile friendly, so I can click this and it will open a map for me. And then the last tab is the notes. So what specific notes exist on this order about this? And so maybe somebody inside said, hey, you know, XYZ is out. We're trying to get it, and this is where we're at with the order, so that we have an understanding. So again, this is just a nice way from a customer perspective to see what's open as you're walking in, all mobile capable from your phone, your iPad, your computer to quickly read that, and speedy and reading live from your database. The last thing, and we've kind of already seen it, but I'll quickly review it, is the accounts. So again, I can get the contacts. I can get it from the menu up here, or I can go from the home and search contacts in here. So this is just a wide open list of contacts that exist. I can type in a contact name, contact customer, all that stuff in here and search for it, and then I get a list of that contact. I can jump in to these contacts and get that relevant information like phone number, email address, website, address, all mobile capable so that they can call, automatically mail to, and map as I need it. Cool little features to allow your outside salespeople the ability to complete their process quickly and seamlessly, reading live from your P21 database. And I mean, I don't know if you can beat the price of free. So it's a pretty neat tool.
Well, we've had a few people who aren't joining the meeting via phone, sending a few chat questions. But before we hit some of those, anybody on the phone have any questions at this point? Okay. Well, this first question is the data live, or is there some sort of a synchronization that takes place? And so yes, the data that you're seeing is live. Ewell will discuss the installation here in just a minute or two, but essentially Community installs in your environment and runs real-time against your P21 data. Another question, can we write data? No, at this point, Community is only designed to be read-only, so we're going to be reading and displaying data, but not writing anything back. Another question is there a limit to the number of users that can use this? And the answer is no. It's an unlimited number of users, and Ewell will show how to set up users in just a moment. And another question, setup requirements. Well, maybe we should just get into the setup process at this point, and maybe we can hit the setup requirements here at the end of that.
Great. So what price is displayed as the unit price in the inventory search?
So there was a question about the price that is displayed in the inventory area. You want to go there real quick, Ewell? And so, yeah, I don't know if we're talking about the get price feature when we go in at this point in the detail, but basically Community is designed to go through all of the built-in P21 pricing algorithms and modules. So it's last margin, it's strategic, it's contract. It iterates through all of those and pulls up whatever the relevant pricing strategies are in place for a given item. So it's doing that live just like P21 does it.
Great. So another question, is there a way to see a unit cost? We do not currently have that in there, but we are definitely looking for that to be part of the next iteration if we get enough call for it.
Yeah, and in I was just going to say, and in general, yeah, we're hoping to get this in folks' hands, like those on this call and other people that have registered for it, and get a lot of great feedback like that, other ideas that we can introduce at some point in a future release. Go ahead, Ewell.
Yeah. So we're hoping to iterate and add features as we grow, and our full software does extensively more, and if you would love to see that, we'd love to demo that for you also. Okay, are there any other questions before I jump into the user management stuff?
Okay.
All right, great. So you have user management capabilities. Again, the only users that can get to this are users that have been set up as an admin role. So if you're an admin role, you can get to, within your menu bar, user management under the settings menu. So once you get to that page, you get a list of the users that have been set up. So I'm going to walk through the adding a new user process because that will be able to quickly explain. And this is also in the documentation that we will send out at the end of this call. So if we select to add a new user, we come in here and we have the ability to set a username and password in here. The password has to be minimum 6-character length, but you'll see that as you're walking through it. And then you have an ability to select admin or sales rep. There's two types of roles. Sales reps don't have the ability to come to the user management or the database settings screen. Setting them up like that just gives them all of the features that we showed earlier, the ability to navigate through inventory, customer, all of that information. So the next field that we have in here is the ability to select sales rep ID. So this is the sales rep ID that gets pulled out of the P21 database. So if, for example, you're setting up test or John 1, and you want him to see only the things that are assigned to sales rep ID 1001, you can select that. Or let's say John 1 is a sales manager or carries multiple sales reps, then they can select multiple sales reps. So what this does is throughout all the CRM functionality, it filters the customer list, the contact list, all of that information that they would be seeing as they navigate through. So it gets less cluttered, I guess, when you're, if I'm David Shelton and I'm logged in, I don't necessarily want to see Charles's customers. I want to see mine. And it gives the admin user the ability to specifically set up users with wider, deeper breadth or shorter breadth for the ability to control what they see and how they navigate. So the sales rep ID is pulled from the P21 database, and simple enough, you just hold control and select as many as you want, and maybe you want to select all of them and set up this user that way. If you select none of them, then it runs wide open for that user, so you don't necessarily have to, it's kind of a default thing. You have to select sales rep IDs for it to be filtered that way. just a nice little functionality to be able to manage the users how you want them to flow. The other functionality we added was the ability to disable or enable the price lookup. If for some reason you want to turn off pricing for certain users and turn on pricing on other users, you can come in here and select no on this specific user and allow that. So I'm going to select these, create John 1, test 789, and save this user. And so now John 1 is set up as a sales rep, and if I wanted to say go back here and edit him, I can come back in here and select and change all of that information. So just a nice simple way of creating users, adding users, and doing that. Now let's say, John 1 was a pain in the butt, I'm going to get rid of him, and so I can delete the user by just selecting that, and that user is gone. So simple functionality to add users as we need and be able to flow through the site with that ability to filter the sales reps or the customer IDs that are associated with the sales rep ID. So I'll pause here before I jump into the database settings if there are any questions on the sales rep or user setup or any of that information. All right, great. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into the setup process. I'm going to flip over to the documentation that we have and kind of walk through that. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, great. So here is the database settings page. Again, it can be, you get there through the settings menu. It's going to ask you for a bit of information. This is where your IT person is probably going to need to be for configuration. They're going to need to enter the SQL Server name, the P21 database, and the username and password that they want to log into that. Only needs read-only functionality, and it will pull all the information. After you fill out all that information, you also need to enter the license key that will be emailed to you, and put that information into there. Once you have set up all of your SQL and login information that your tech guy will know, you will need to select the company ID that this instance will be running for. And then all of everything that you see will be filtered to that. Until you configure all of these things, none of the CRM capability things that you saw earlier, like inventory search, all of those buttons will be hidden until the a license key, a database username, password, and the company ID has been selected. Once all of that information is set up, you just hit Save Setup, and then all your buttons will be open and allowed to press. You will get a Web Connect who's been successfully configured, and then you are able to play. So that is a quick rundown of the database settings. Again, more detailed documentation on installation, database setup will come to you in a link on our p21connect.com for you to be able to play with. So.
Ewo, we had a couple of questions here via chat. Server requirements to run Community. So Community is a Microsoft.NET web application, and so the only requirement is that you have a Windows server somewhere in your environment that runs Microsoft's IIS web hosting product, and most of you probably already run web applications of some sort, and so that can be deployed there. Again, you know, anyone on the call or your IT person, if you're not an IT person, can get in touch with us if there's any questions about that. And at that point, as Ewell showed here, We're just pointing the application at your P21 database, which obviously is already running in your environment. Another question, how many times can I run community? So I guess, in other words, how many installations can you have? The answer is as many as you want. You just need to register those so we can send you license keys for each one of those to enable community to run for each instance. Another question is this a trial offer, trial application? No, this is a fully operable standalone application. It's free. It's not a trial. We plan to continue to add features and grow this over time. So yes, it's not a trial version of software. And getting support. Yeah, again, for support, for any questions or suggestions, the email address is community@p21connect.com. Any questions for those on the phone? Okay, any other chat questions here?
I think we answered all of the chat questions.
Okay.
So I'll show one more thing, the help button.
Okay. One more thing I will show, and then we'll finish out. So on top of every menu bar, you have this help, and so if you click here, an email support button, you click here, and it will automatically bring you to your Outlook window, and it will have all the information typed in with your specific license key and who you are, so that we know how we need to respond and reply to you. So email me, and I'll help you out and see what we can do to get you running. So. Okay. Anything else, Ewell?
I think that's okay. I think that's what we have. So
the next step, everyone, is after this webinar is concluded here in just a minute, we will publish the recording on our YouTube channel. We'll include that link in an email that everyone will receive, including your license key and the download link for the application itself. And at that point, as you guys have questions that come up, either in terms of installation or configuration, or just using community as you go forward, please don't hesitate to get in touch. So if there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up for now. And thanks so much for attending, and good luck with community.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.